Hello? Hello? Is there anybody out there?
Good Monday morning. Well, Tuesday, but our Monday.
It's our Monday, yes. So hello and welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Thank you for remembering your mask goes with your dress today. I almost wore that mask because guess what? I found that mask in the pocket of pants I washed yesterday. I was been looking
So it's
for
clean.
it. So it's clean. I was moving stuff from the washer to the dryer and went, oh, that's where that is. Okay. It's been in the wash now. I was gonna wear it today, but I have the hair for the ties. So, and as we can see, as my ties get stuck on everything. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in clear and chilly Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there. It's gonna warm
Yes.
up. It's gonna be like
Oh,
60.
I know, but there was frost on the way in.
Oh,
like,
it
and there
was-
was ice like that had fallen off of cars or something on the road out in Conisty.
Yeah.
Like, it was like winter is here.
Yeah.
Basically. And yeah, when I looked at my little thing on my phone, I'm calling this my phone. It's my watch, but it's connected to my phone. But you know, they're interchangeable. Everyone just has to like, I'm still obsessed with that little wrinkle. Everyone just has to know what I mean rather than what I say, like all the time. I went to the bank yesterday and I handed her one and I said, I need 2 rolls of quarters. And in my head, I was saying I need 2 rolls of pennies, which by the way, are still in here. We need to put them in the register, but
okay,
you all witnessed that. So, and she looked at me and she's like, she looked at me weird and walked away. But you know, with masks, you can't really tell. And then she's like, did you mean 2 quarters? Because she's probably like, you just want 2 quarters for, or like, and that doesn't even actually work math wise. I'm like, no, 2 rolls. And she's like, do you mean 2 rolls of pennies? I was like, oh yes, that's what my inside voice said. And there was a translation error when it was going to my mouth. And that happens a lot.
So not a thing.
So not a thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, what led me to say that? See, I'm already, this is my phone when it's not. It was pretty on the drive-in though. But yeah, I saw that it was going to warm up, but it wasn't warm when I left my house. So I wore my winter jacket in today.
So because you have to plan for every event. 27 on the drive-in this morning and 60, and then yeah.
Well, and here's the other thing that I was thinking with all that, because you know the jokes you'll see online that are like, oh, weather in North Carolina, you know, prepare for all seasons, and that's the meme. It works almost anywhere you go, though. It's not like that's specific to us, you know. Like I've seen Pennsylvania say the same thing. I've seen like everywhere thinks that they're unique in that they have to go through like 16 seasons in one day, and it's like no, that really everyone gets hit sometime. So
more often than not, it's the mountains or the high desert.
Oh, I forgot to bring stuff over, but I'll go grab it if we get to that.
That's particularly
sorry, squirreled.
You
want to start that sentence again?
Mountains and high desert tend to,
you know, have like all the extremes.
All the extremes, yeah.
It's good and bad, you know. So this, like, for part of today, this will be perfect because it's fingering weight. And then for other parts, you know, if it really is cold, this will not be warm enough. So, you know, this is good for in between. If anyone wants to try an in between. Speaking of that, part of my newsletter yesterday was about all these sweaters that have been published that I want to make, but I can't because I already have sweaters lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, these could jump over them in the queue, and some of them are attractive enough that I'm really thinking about it. But one of them is a fingering weight sweater. I just finished this one. I need to take a break from fingering weight. And it's not only fingering weight, it's fingering weight in cables. Oh my gosh, it would take forever. But wouldn't it be fun? I think I like it because of the colors that they published it in. It's these luscious, really super rich colors.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we have something like that in the shop. I haven't investigated yet. I'd have to look. Like it's deep and luscious, but still slightly tonal. And we have luscious and tonal, but not like maybe the deep aqua. But I have so many sweaters I've made in Vivacious. I have to spread the joy around. And that the struggle is real.
So
because I feel like on some level, if I had a choice, I'd only be knitting with like 2 yarns in the shop.
that's not a thing.
It's not a thing, but I love all the yarns in the shop. I really do. But but I struggle with like
We have those colors
Trying
in
to
like
vary up.
different other weights. We don't have them in the right
in the fingering.
fingering. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not going to make a super bulky sweater with that pattern. You're making a super bulky. Your super bulky sweater actually matches what you're wearing today. How many times have you picked out yarn and it matches what you're wearing? Like that's a common phenomenon for us in the shop. Like there's times when I pull out a random yarn to show someone and they're like, that's the color I would have picked. And I'm not psychic. But I
Well-
bet there's a subconscious part of me that's like, they're wearing these colors. Maybe this will work.
We've also pulled colors and been told, well, I'm not a winter or a summer.
Like those,
or-
it was when someone was shopping outside, they said, but those aren't my colors.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are we supposed to know what your colors are? You're in a winter coat. We can't see anything. And we're also not psychic, believe it or not.
What? So
Yeah. Today is gonna be kind of a vamping. Like I have ideas and thoughts, but they're not our usual Tuesday ideas and thoughts. So it's gonna be kind of a vamping episode of sorts, you know, like I have very little to show off. I finished my Christmas knitting, which I'm
So did I.
super excited by. And you did?
I
That's
did.
right, because you're not gonna make any extra hats.
Not making any extra hats.
I think that's smart. I think if people need choice, then they need to suck it up and make and like what you made them.
I showed mom. Mom said, no, those are fine. We'll be good. Like,
So you can stop.
so I could stop.
That means you could mail things like
I'm mailing stuff tomorrow.
Oh, that's part of what I'm thinking we might try to touch on today, our last minute ideas and present ideas. And I'm repeating myself. Last minute holiday things, because we are kind of at the cusp of, I kept meaning to do this like all December. I'm swirling, hang with me. I kept meaning to do this all December of like, let's showcase presents and do it early. And now we are at the days where you need to order like early in this week, which is already almost past, to be able to have a hope, not a guarantee, but a hope of getting packages by Christmas if you want Christmas presents under the tree. I dropped off a couple of presents yesterday. Packages. There might be presents for someone. I zipped in here and dropped off a couple packages at the post office just to get us ahead of the game for today. And actually we have something for today. An order came in. It is partial gift card, partial. There's just one thing to send.
Okay.
The gift card is gift cards on our online system now are automatically emailed. So we'll have to figure that out later. Put in a little, hey, you had a gift card and hopefully you got it. Because it's our first purchase where someone got a gift card and a physical item.
Well, I noticed too when I went in that now all of the online orders in the computer show up as e-com.
I know upgrade to the system. And I meant to mention before I turned the camera on, the Dragon iPad updated to iOS 15. So we have glitches to probably look forward to today, but I restarted the credit card thing. So hopefully it'll sync right and stuff.
But I hate it.
Well, I dabbled with it yesterday because it's on the iPad, but I'm not letting my phone go to it yet. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But no, we were talking about mailing stuff. The post office, that's where I was. They put a little lined shopping cart, canvas lined shopping cart out in the lobby for prepaid packages to just drop off and not have to wait in line. And this thing was piled this high over the basket. And I was like, how am I going to put my bubble mailers on this? I tried to start trying to put them on, and some guy at the post office who wasn't wearing a mask was looking at me like, whatever. And I'm like, that's going to make everything topple. So it's next to the counter where you fill out information, but people have started putting packages on the counter. So I just put them on top of other packages on the counter and walked out. I'm just like, I'm done. So if you want to order for Christmas, order this week, and we can't guarantee it. already. We will do the best we can, and we will pop things out as fast as we can. We will mail things up until the day the shop shuts down for winter break, Christmas Eve, which at that point, it's not arriving by Christmas, obviously.
We might be able to drop off anything ordered on the 23rd at the post office on our way home from work.
On our way home, yeah. Or like, I might be able to drop them off on my way out of town on the 24th. But it's really, I'm speaking more to the people who want like Echo Point kits that we haven't put together yet. This is a hot maybe for an Echo Point kit. I'm waiting for, I know I shouldn't, well, let me rephrase that. We ordered a new color of Fiber Spades, and I can't wait for it to come in because I think it's going to crack wide open the possibilities of color combinations for the Echo Point that we're hoping to cast on January 4th. But please, if you don't have the yarn yet on January 4th, it's okay. It's not like you've missed it and you can't make it. Because it could be our fault you don't have the yarn. But I was about to say, I'm waiting for this new color. I'm not waiting. Like, I think we're going to have really great kits when it comes in. We have not been able to find the time to put together kits and put them up online. Like every week, I'm like, we're going to make kits this week. And then life takes over and no. And it's not that we're sitting around like, this is the knitting Liz does at the shop. It's not like it's beautiful. We have to talk about that in a second. It's not like we're sitting around knitting and we're like, oops, we didn't get to the kits. It's like, it's just busy enough. Or yarn comes in that we have to put away, or customers come in, or this hasn't happened yet. We need to like clone ourselves, basically.
Yeah. So, in the before time, we didn't do all this extra stuff because it would take.
We just ran the shop.
More people to do it.
And that's what we told people is like, we don't have an online shop because we don't have enough time and energy and people to run it.
Yeah, we still don't have enough time, energy, or people because it's still just us. And then we started a YouTube channel and, online store, and it's still just us.
It's still just us. And so like every time I'm making a tips and tricks video on Monday, I'm just like, because I was telling her all the things I did yesterday and she's like, that's busy. I'm like, that's Monday.
Yeah.
So, but we started these things when we kind of had time because we couldn't be here as often because there was to stay safer at home. It wasn't like you must quarantine and be at home, but it was most people were staying at home or weren't supposed to be out, or we had time. I remember I had time to go to all these virtual meetings about what to do and how to survive the pandemic and what the SBA was offering. And then suddenly I didn't have time for all that anymore. So, and people weren't offering it anymore. Anyway, I digress. That's not a thing. So we still have plans. It's basically, some people already have plotted their Echo Points, which again, we're going to do a knit along starting January 4th, but you can start whenever you want. You could start early if you want. People have come in and said, do you have a sample of the shawl? I said, there's one online because I'm actually planning on doing it along with everybody else. And I haven't picked out my colors. I mean, this color combination is absolutely lovely. But I think that oatmeal is like calling my name. So, and we have to plan, like, if we burn through a whole bunch of yarn, if I'm going to order more, I don't want it to arrive when we're on break. So I have to plot out when that's happening. Like, it's not a thing. So some people have already picked their colors, or some people are making their own choices. If you don't want to wait for us to post stuff, contact us if you're struggling with what to do. Some, like Lisa, shout out to Lisa. People have already started doing that, which is great. Again, the Echo Point, if I can, I will splice in a picture now or at the end, because someone else said, I'll slice in the picture from the Ravelry listing so you can see it. It's hang on to the someone else said. I have a thought on that. Yeah, I'm so squirrely today. It's a triangle shawl. Someone on virtual sit and stitch on Sunday was like, well, what's so special about it? And what's special is that it's unique but not unique in a way, if that makes sense. Is that it's got the basics of a triangle shawl. So if you've never tried it before, it's a great place to start. But it's not just a triangle shawl. Like there's some, you have to pay attention to doing things up to the center and then change and do something different out. But it's not super, super complicated in my rough assessment of it. right?
Yeah.
Our rough assessment, other knitters' rough assessment. So my hope, what makes it special then, is that it is not super complicated. So it could appeal to both beginners, like advanced beginners, you know how to knit and purl. And either if you don't know how to do increases, you're going to learn in this. And for more advanced knitters, it could be a fun, mellow project to try along with us.
There is a rhythm to the pattern. It's
Mhm.
garter and stockinette and a triangle shawl. So
which again are
sounds super
variations
basic,
of knits and pearls.
but she's mixed it up in a fun way that it will be, you know,
It's just a little bit to pay attention to.
just a little bit to pay attention to, but also, you know, beginners can do it. It's a good, everybody can play along with this.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I haven't done a knit along before, or especially a mystery knit along, is a lot of those are geared towards being extra challenging. And I wanted to do something. I didn't want people to feel left out. So we're trying with this. There's going to be a lot of learning curves along the way because we haven't done this before. So people are like, okay, you know, what's so special about it? And how are we going to show off progress? How are we going to keep this communal, especially when not everyone who's doing it is here at the shop, right? And we're not even letting people hang. It's not like we're going to say, like in pre-COVID times, I think we would have said, hey, we're going to get together on Tuesday afternoons to work on our Echo Point. No, we're still not ready to be gathering in groups yet and stuff. So it could be that coming to knit night, virtual sit and stitch, you can show off your progress. To share with people who are part of this community who don't join the Zoom stuff. We're going to take 2 tracks of probably sharing things on social media, or you share them and we'll work up some hashtags. We'll work up some, like, tag our business, tag the pattern writer, put the hashtags in there so we can have a hashtag that all of us who are doing it can follow and see. And then if you're okay with it, I'm going to snag pictures and put them in the newsletter. And, but I always would get permission before I do that. I'm really big on, I'm not just going to be like, hey, you're making an Echo Point and you're doing it with us. Yay. You know, and then you go, why did you do that? That was a picture I just sent to you. I'm really particular about that. So unless you explicitly say, you may share this, I'm not going to. Same thing with, I have a whole category on the newsletter that's crafting in the time of COVID. And people will send me pictures. And if I have time, I will say, hey, can I send this? Can I share this in the newsletter? But if I don't have time and you haven't said, share this in the newsletter, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to assume that you wanted that. Now, assumptions are bad in patterns and they're bad in life. So, but brainstorming, because shout out to Donna. She's like, I'm not on social media. Again, I would need permission from anyone who shares a picture with me to do this, but I'd love to, if I have time, speaking of not having time, I'd love to put a little montage at the end of these YouTube episodes starting in the new year of where people are on their Echo Point. If they want to share them with me, just snap a picture and send it to me. I can put that in at the end. It shouldn't be too hard. And I hope what it will prove, at least for this knit along, is that everyone's going to be at a different place and everyone's going to have a different pace of knitting. My goal of having a knit along is not to make people rush. Because again, I always go back to my quote from Princess Bride: you rush a miracle, man, you get rotten miracles. Like
this knit along is at your own pace.
Yes.
There is no deadline.
If anything, I'm going to try to go as slow as I possibly can.
Which means everybody's got about a year. Only because
my morning meditation is one that I thought I would finish like a year ago, probably. So,
well, but like,
yeah,
both of us are probably going to be working on 50 other projects and starting new projects because Christmas knitting is done.
I would actually be so happy if y'all finished it ahead of me rather than me saying, here, look, because it's not a mystery.
Yeah,
we're not doing one of those. We don't know where it's going. Like, so again, we're just going to try this. We're going to see how there'll be a learning curve. It will not go perfectly, and that's okay. By the way, and then I want to talk about what you're knitting before we get to other stuff, so we don't leave it behind by accident, right? Because I'll do that. I'll just go. If you want to join the knit along, the pattern writer has offered a 25% discount on her pattern with the code SunDragon KAL at checkout on Ravelry through the end of January. So if you see us all working on it in January and go, that looks cool, you can still save on the pattern by buying directly from her. We can help you get the pattern in the shop, but you won't get the discount. If you get it, excuse me, directly from her, you get 25% off the pattern. So
It's fantastic.
I think I have said all the stuff I need to say on that. I can get off my soapbox on the Echo Point for the moment. What are you working on, Liz? Because I'm not working on anything right now.
I finished all of my Christmas knitting. And
So
then
did I. I'll show mine off later.
I wove in ends and everything. And I have to shout out to Kathleen. If she had not helped weave in ends, I would still be weaving in ends and crying because I hate ends and there's so many, but
there's just so many.
So many.
Can I say I wove in ends on this, but I didn't cut all the little stringies off of them. So there's under here, there's still stringies.
Well, that's fine.
I cut off the stringies that were annoying me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was
So you're
like,
back to your floofy sweaters.
I was like, what am I gonna play with now that I'm done? Oh, I'll start my red sweater.
That's the Ushia, by the way, that's on sale this week. That's on sale until we post a video
I'm
tomorrow.
trying to angle it to where the cables show the anyway.
Our filming
all nice
equipment
and
is low quality, so we got the best we can. Yeah.
So
Oh, are we showing these off?
I'm holding up my bag and I'll show off the hats.
Oh, we need to
because
take a picture of.
we've got to take a picture of
That's because you want to mail tomorrow. Crap.
tomorrow.
Ah. Maybe before we leave today.
Yeah.
Before we go home, we want to take a big, huge picture, and then we could put it maybe in tomorrow's or like the rest of the week's episodes because not everyone watches that.
Well, and I also thought you could put it in the newsletter.
Oh, obviously.
Well, okay. So I did a fingering weight hat.
That's
It
cute.
looks like a hat.
It looks like it. What was because there was a pregnant pause and I didn't say anything? Did you think it wasn't a hat?
It just looked like a hat. Anyway, so fingering weight.
Is it a magic trick that's not a hat?
I don't know. This one's fiber spates for my daddy.
That one's really pretty. That's the denim, right?
That's the denim.
Mhm. And the other one, the other blue one is
The same as your mittens.
Look, it could be a matching pair, but they're for different people. So this is the last pair of my mittens that I made with my little like cable edition on the back. So
I found Be Loving and Be Loving Remixed.
they're very simple hat patterns that are absolutely wonderful.
Be Loving Remixed.
It's just different weights of yarn.
I got 4.
Look at that. You made all those hats since you finished the last Papillon, and you finished that one. The Papillon you finished, I want to say Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's made all those hats since then. Don't talk to me about how I'm a faster knitter. So
well, I was thinking about how long it took me. Like I told Mom, I was like, I based all of my estimates on like hats a couple years ago, and it would have taken me 2 or 3 days to do the
shout out to
chunky ones.
Cheryl, who said she's gotten faster during the pandemic.
I was like, oh,
I'm
have
done.
a hat brand. Oh, I have a hat.
Well,
okay.
and virtual sit and stitch, you were like, every time I looked over at your little brick on Zoom, you had a different color in your hands. And
This
so
one I
it was
finished Sunday morning.
like,
I cast all 3 of these on, finished these 2 Sunday night, and finished this
the
one on
benefit of having so many needles in your house that you can have multiple projects going.
Monday. And I bought needles. Like
Oh, that's right.
I bought needles before I
remember
left
that now.
on Friday
Mhm.
or Thursday, sometime in there. And Rebecca goes, "What are you doing? You have needles." And I was like, I don't want to hunt for them.
I'm like, why are you buying me out of my needles that other customers will?
So I bought all the needles I needed for the hat.
At this point, my joke but reality is I'm kind of coasting towards Christmas because I'm the window for me to order things for you to buy has pretty much closed. And so as people buy things and I start running out of things, I'm bemoaning the fact that I don't have enough product in certain areas for y'all if you want to buy something, but I can't get it back in time, and I can't predict if someone's going to buy a whole bunch of needles for hats. So
spur of the moment with no plans. to do
Oh,
that.
that's so cool. Those are
So-
the little patchies.
So these are the little patches. I have 2 Star Trekky ones because a
Because
couple of the boys like Star Trek.
yeah, and they might
So-
be like, no, it has to be from this series of Star Trek, and
But-
that one's wrong.
But
So-
these were the only ones that I could find. So we have the Discovery one and we have this
I was
one.
gonna say
and-
one's Discovery and one's Classic, basically.
This-
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then just for giggles, we have a Superman one, Wonder Woman one,
Captain
and
America.
Captain America.
Where
So
did you get those?
I ordered them off of Etsy.
Okay.
I don't
So-
remember the name of the shop, but Etsy has so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to know, email Liz directly and pester her. But
I can look, but yeah.
I don't know either.
I,
so
I want to
that's
say
really
it was
cool.
from England. So
A lot of cool things are.
yeah,
you know.
So if you're looking for them before Christmas, not gonna happen. Stuff is taking a while to get back. and forth.
My oatmeal yarn that should be coming, like I'm hoping it comes in this week, because if not, that's just sadness. But they just released this color and I was like, so, and everything's got to go in a certain order. So okay, so you're back to, we're both back to working
We're
on,
both back to working on other stuff. Yay!
because okay, I have 1 and then 2, and these are big and fold down, and then 3. This is for all the guys, and then for the girls I have the Hydra mitts. My Hydra mitts, by the way, made in the Lily Kate Makes Axis, are all fuzzy and felting, and I kind of love it that they're not as crisp as these, because I've been wearing them, but that makes them super soft. So these are Cascade. These are all Barocco Ultra Wool Chunky, and these are all Cascade 220 Superwash, because I always give my family things that they can throw in the washing machine, just being the safe side. Means it might not be as soft as my Lily Kate Makes Axis, but they will fit if they end up in the washing machine. 1, 2, and 3. So they are all covered. I just have to remember to pack them. Liz's job on the 23rd is going to be to make sure, because these are all right here at the shop, to make sure I take this home with me so I have Christmas presents. Yeah,
It's a good thing you have Christmas Eve to run by the shop and pick up Christmas presents
Right?
that you
Yeah.
forgot.
Because that's gonna happen, right? Oh boy. No, at some point next week I'll probably, as I'm packing, although I tend to last minute pack, I will take them home. So I thought the other thing we could talk about today, before we wrap up, and we're gonna wrap up kind of soon, is a little bit of what to get people for Christmas, or what to tell people to get you for Christmas. And for some of you who are far away, that ship may have already sailed. And I'm sorry we didn't do this sooner. We just kept squirreling and being just too busy. enough.
Fortunately, Christmas presents also make good birthday presents. And
Yes, and the whole 12 days of
presents
Christmas
and-
thing, there's the buffer zone
Yeah.
afterwards. There's, my family has done the little, here's a cutout from the newspaper or from a receipt or a printout from the online page where I bought you something of what you will get, but it's not here yet. That is a classic Christmas thing for us. So at my house, or here's what, because you flew out here, what we're having shipped to your house, because there's no way you get it in your suitcase home. There are options. There are ways to cover your butt if you're going to order next week and it's not going to get there in time. But a lot of the times, different butt. So when someone walks into the shop and says, I want to buy something for my wife or my daughter or my husband or, my friend, and they're a knitter or crocheter, inside I brace myself and I go, okay, I'm not going to recommend yarn. That's the crazy thing, right? If they walk in and say, I want to buy them a nice skein of yarn, I'm like, that's fantastic. You might want to consider an accessory instead. And so why do we say that, Liz?
Why do we say? Because, okay, my yarn gamut goes all through the shop.
Yeah.
And I would hope that my husband would know that. But
If Bernie walked in and said, I want to buy Liz yarn, or we also have people who come in and say, my wife, what would she want? And it's like, oh God.
spur of the moment, we're like sheep in the headlights, deer in the headlights, whatever.
I like the sheep in the head. I think they both would be like,
crap, I can't. Your wife was just in here and mentioned 20 different things that she would like.
But it's like,
I can't remember.
And asking anyone who doesn't knit or crochet questions about what the knitter or crocheter in their life might want, you don't want to upset them, but they may not know. It's like, so does she like working with thick or thin yarn? I don't know. Like, what have you observed him holding one tool or two to even get to knitter?
We've
I don't
had
know.
people come in that are like, my friend, my neighbor, my sister.
My neighbor
or
works with yarn.
They play with yarn. Okay, one or two, I don't know.
And do they like thick or thin yarn? I don't know. And the thing is, like, what if they like Liz, like making these chunky short things, and you gift them fingering weight yarn? Either they're going to be like, cool, I've never tried this before, that'll be fun, or they're going to be like, that's very sweet of you, I'm never going to use this. You know, it's tough. It's really challenging. So so we tend to push people towards notions and accessories, things that could be fun to have on the side, that again, we have, like, they're not necessarily things you need to buy. So a lot of knitters and crocheters might avoid buying them and do the low tech hacks that will work just as well, but they'd be really fun to have. So I default to anything by Coco Knits. Like, we both have our makers boards here, and these, the gray ones finally came back in stock, and I ordered them, but they may not be getting to us till the end of this week. I ordered them at the beginning of last week, and they were flooded with orders and didn't get mine shipped out until the end of last week. But the makers board, they're like the MacBook Air of pattern keepers, where there's metal in every single piece. We have tons of the craft color in stock, and some of the accessories come separately. The ruler things come separately.
The cool thing about the rulers and the 6-pack
could be cool for anything with magnets.
Of magnets.
The extra stuff you can buy.
The extras that are not included in the kit. Like, we have the magnets, the rulers, they have magnets in them. And then there's a 6-pack of, they always look like Mentos to me. Like,
they look like Necco wafers to me.
That something.
They look like edible things. Don't eat them. They're magnets.
But the cool thing is, if you already have a metal board, like we have the
even
Knitter's
just the
Pride, or just the,
yeah, we have the Knitter's Pride Trapper Keepers, or just the metal board. We've had a lot of knitters come in with those.
Yeah, these are the coolest rulers ever because they don't warp.
Yeah, the magnet strips that you get with the Knitter's Pride one,
they kind of wobble.
They wobble and they don't stay in place as well as these do.
And these are great. Like,
and there's a needle gauge on that one.
There's a needle gauge on this one. This one's a ruler. I'm always using it to mark my thing. I love the you can use these on any other magnet board.
If you know someone who still works with printed patterns, these are fantastic. And look how slim they are. Like, they're absolutely fantastic. I forget it's in my computer case. It's definitely coming with me on my trip, and I am paring down how much I'm bringing on my trip. But this will actually be nice and slim and not take up too much space. Our newest accessory, we're out of the olive. So we're out of this one that I have. We're out of that one. I've ordered it. It's coming in hopefully by the end of the week, the olive one. Here's the gray, which if you already had one of these, we could be matchy. But again, we don't have these in stock.
For some reason, everybody that got the gray got the olive.
Yeah.
Like,
the gray ran out in the makers boards, and in the craft caddies, the olive ran out. The handles are sold separately on these, but that means you can take them off to wash them, or you can put them on something else you've made, which is kind of cool.
And so there are pockets all the way around the inside.
I've lost things because they're in pockets, and I forgot to check those pockets.
There's a long pocket in the back and 2 shorter pockets in the front.
And
she keeps losing stuff in the pockets because there's pockets.
I find them again, but I don't know where they are because I haven't checked all the pockets. But I just wanted to point out how much I have in here. I have my finished Jupiter crop. I have my bag of masks that I bring to the shop. I have the next project I want to start, which isn't wound yet, and the pattern for that, and the pennies we have to put in the register. And my needle for this project, I have the needles from the fingerless mitts I just finished. I have a Maker's Keep. Like, she's got all that yarn in there. I have a Maker's Keep buried in the bottom of this, which, by the way, is another lovely device because you can keep stitch markers on this. You can look, stitch markers. Yay. Just emptied that one out. I have stitch markers in here, by the way. I have cable needles. I have stitch holders in here. I have scissors. I have everything I need in this little bag, which is super awesome. These guys we have in several colors. The Maker's Keep. They work really well with all Cocoa Knits products. They anything that's metal can hang on to them. The more metal, the better. It's just if it gets too heavy or if there's not enough metal on them, you might lose it. But I find this is really helpful to have, like anything from Cocoa Knits. The stitch markers, if you know they like a certain size, these are perfect.
You're not sure what size, but you know they knit, we have a flight of stitch markers.
The flight doesn't work as well for the crocheters because only one of the 5 things in them works for a crocheter. But we have split ring markers and open close stitch markers that works for crocheters. Knitting is much more notion heavy, but this works for crocheters and knitters. This
I would
works
also
for
say
crocheters
it
and
works
knitters.
for quilters and crafters
other
of all
crafters
kinds.
too. Mhm.
Yeah, because there are so many pockets, and just if you like keeping all of your little things together for any crafty thing.
I think I have
would
most, if not all of this stuff. If you go to the Notions and Accessories tab on our website and you click on Cocoa Knits, you're going to see awesome, awesome stuff. The other thing I wanted to show, we have to go in just a couple minutes. So Liz, if you could, I wanted to grab some books to show off. If you, no, I was gonna make you vamp and talk about the schedule for the week.
Schedule for the week. We have Sit and Stitch tonight from 7 to 9 Eastern time. The Zoom code is the shop. Phone number 828-877-3550. We had a great Sunday afternoon. Come back and see us on tonight. Tomorrow is the VSC. Who knows what we'll put on sale tomorrow because we don't even know yet. And Thursday is Dear Becky and Lizzie. If you want to get a question in, I'd email me, liz@sundragonartandfiber.com, because mailing a question might not get here.
And if you email me, I'll miss it.
Yeah.
She's in charge of the Dear Becky and Lizzie. Okay.
Friday night is knit night all over
knit
again.
night. So. And we just had our Sunday virtual sit and stitch. The next one's going to be January 16th. We floated that date. I have now made it official for our next Sunday virtual sit and stitch. So here's the deal. We don't have a whole lot of books in the shop, but they could make really great gifts. And I pulled out the ones. We might have like one other one from Pom Pom. They make wonderful books with fun patterns or great resources. I'll try to make sure any of these that I'm showing off now, if they're not online, I'll get them online. I know this one is online. Ready, Set, Raglan. I'm making a book.
You're making a book?
I'm making a book. No, I'm making a sweater from this, but it's a great go-to. It's not like the essential resource, but it's got a lot of really great, if you like that diagonal seam for your shoulders. And all the ones I have left on needles right now that are long sleeve, I have like 3 sweaters on needles right now. They're all raglan seam. It's kind of my favorite. If it's not this all over that's become very popular, it's the raglan seam that I like to make. Good structure to a sweater. It's got a lot of options for different stitches, but they're not super, there's only like 1 or 2 in here that are super complicated. Most of them are nice and basic. It's a really fun sweater book. Also from Pom Pom Publishing, Moon and Turtle. I'm going to be making this cover sweater, hopefully over Christmas, or starting it. It's twins who have written some really fun patterns in all different weights, and it's not just sweaters. It's like
there's hats and socks.
Look through it on our website. I think I have some pictures up there. So if not, I'll try to get some better pictures up there. The most recent Pom Pom. And what I'm going to try to do before break is the older Pom Poms on our website, if they are still, if we still have any stock in them, I will reduce the price on the old ones. The new one is still current price. It's like in the $25 range. I want to make this one too. A lot of things I want to make. Those are the Pom Pom things. If you have a new knitter or crocheter in your family, we have a bundled package that is one of these crochet or knit with a ball of yarn and tools, either the crochet hook or the pair of needles and sewing needles for the yarn, all bundled together is how we have these listed online. If you want just the book by itself, you'll probably have to contact us. I don't think I have a separate listing, but these are good resource books if someone's trying to learn. They're the best ones we have in the shop. They're not perfect, but they're the best ones we have in the shop. I brought this one in just recently. It's the Big Book of Crochet Stitches. I'll try to get this up online because this could be fun for someone who crochets but doesn't do a lot with it yet, to have the ability to dive in, because a lot of people like to make stuff up with crochet.
Well, and
it gives you
with
options.
crochet you can, and if you want to do a baby blanket, a lot of times it's just easiest to find a book of crochet stitches or go, hey, I want this stitch in this baby blanket,
and you
just
multiply
do.
the number of stitches to make it wide enough.
Yeah.
So this can be really fun. I'll try to put that one up online. And then I have these two guys. Cap Stace is a woman who's written some really cool books. It could be for like the knitter who has everything but doesn't have these yet. The Cast On Bind Off book is 211 ways to begin and end your knitting. It's like there are so many ways to start or end projects, and this is only dedicated to starting or ending projects. Like these are the best resource books I feel like we have in the shop. So there are other really great resource books. We don't stock them. We have people go buy them themselves. Like if you're gonna do the Knitters Masters program, there's some really great books to buy. I own them. We don't carry them here because it's just hard to keep stuff like that in stock.
And
publishing is a weird thing.
Publishers do different.
And I don't have relationships with all the publishers I would need to do that. And they all want minimum orders and so this one, the Knitters Know How, really is geared towards like finishing, how to seam things, how to add things, how to, it's not like, I brought it in thinking it would be a really great learn to knit book. It's not what it is. Techniques every knitter needs to know. So really fast, because we need to go. Weaving in ends, blocking, seam basics, crochet seams, knitted seams, sewn seams, Kitchener stitch, picking up stitches, bands, hems, cord edgings, crochet edgings, buttons and buttonholes, zippers, pockets, added touches, things about washing. This is like next level. If you have a knitter who's like, I want to learn more than just the basics. This goes beyond the basics and how to do all the extra stuff. It's a great book too. I'll work on getting those up today. I see our first person who I told to come by at 10. So we have to go. Love to y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Liz is gonna go because she's pulling on the door.